What's up there, Misfits? Thank you for hanging with me and being patient. I know I haven't uploaded anything in a while. I've been in a weird energetic space that I haven't quite been able to express. But I did have something come to me yesterday. The energy was particularly thick. So when I sat down in front of my laptop with the open Word document, it just kind of flowed. And it all had to do with this energy, this card, okay? So I'm just going to read that to you, and I don't know, hopefully that will help or mean something for someone out there who comes across this. But in any case, yeah, here we go. The thing about the devil is that this energy goes out of its way to subtly convince you that its energy doesn't even exist. Sometimes this is covered up in the form of platitudes or niceties, while you have the unconscious thought that you're not good enough, they aren't good enough, or both. Collectively, the devil is something we call ourselves banding together to eliminate this energy, all the while embodying the darker parts of it in our daily lives. Pretending like we don't. Pretending like it doesn't exist. Mission accomplished? Still, it seems cliche to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. It's impossible to know true joy without true sorrow, or to know true peace without its opposite. Rage. Anger. If peace is your power, then rage and anger are the downfall. A poison you expect to take down everything and everyone but you. I ran across an interesting quote today. Actually, I ran into several that were so fucking shiny, I pulled over just so I could notate them. The one that really got me thinking today is this. The cave you fear to walk into holds the greatest treasures you seek. Joseph Campbell. Again, pulled over pretty fast, so I'm somewhat paraphrasing here, but this really struck a chord with me. Especially regarding the dark night of the soul process. A process that America and really the global collective at large is experiencing at one stage or another. I'm sure there are many that are listening to this being in the process of having exited or are currently in the dark night void. Raising my hand right here. That immediately you actually get this quote in the context that I'm attempting to explain it. I'm an incredibly sensitive empath. Always have been. But I didn't realize just how much so until I started to lean into my gifts instead of trying to numb them, drown them out, and ignore them. So when I tell you that America's in the rage portion of the dark night of the soul energy, fully comprehend how thick this energy is to wade through as an energy worker. It's like mud. It reminds me of the movie The Never-Ending Story, where they're in the swamp and the horse gets stuck in the mud, ultimately becoming consumed by it. It's one of the saddest and emotionally gut-wrenching parts of the movie, actually. Or at least it was for me as a kid. That moment where you see that everything or someone is completely falling apart, and you see them, or it, on a high-speed train heading for a very, very thick concrete wall. And there's not a damn thing that you can do except brace yourself for the aftermath and carnage. What happens when an immovable force meets an unstoppable object again? America, with all its beauty, ugliness, entitlement, and graciousness, has experienced a death. quite literally. But run with the metaphor here. Our hierarchy of needs has been completely toppled and reduced to its most basic of functions. Safety. People will starve themselves, isolate themselves, and murder each other if necessary, just to feel some semblance of safety. And nothing feels particularly safe right now. So there is an undercurrent edge that's sliceable with a butter knife. Like any death, there's the grief process, the stages of grief. And right now, America is angry and in a rage. I could tell you that it's because of the planetary placements or because the veil fully being lifted on many of the inequities that have been taking place here for hundreds of years. The political atmosphere, shitty neighbors, shittier romantic partners, or learning that your quote-unquote friends are really just jealous-ass frenemies that don't actually give any fucks about you. But as that incredibly sensitive empath, I feel like it really only boils down to two things. One, we crave routine in our dialogue, and this has been disrupted. Not necessarily just physical routine, but the dialogue. Those who like routine may have adjusted a little bit better than the rest of us with the shutdown, as those who love routine generally don't have a large issue creating one. But that's not really what I'm talking about. We don't think twice about going to the grocery store and getting exactly what we need. Sometimes we may need to go to 2 to get all the things on our list, in the previous world anyway. Now there are some things that you'll be lucky if they ever see store shelves again. We can't go down the street without the checklist. Mask, hand sanitizer, Clorox wipes in a bag, just in case. Do I go to the ATM first to deposit the cash and then go to the store, or just paying cash? Is it more of a risk handing the cash to the cashier, or risk touching the ATM, the door handle, my car handle? And then, do I start the car first and then sanitize my hands, or sanitize my hands and then start the car? I already had to touch the keys to unlock the car. Fuck. There's nothing routine about having this dialogue every time you step out the door. Which brings me to number 2. Too much noise and too much silence. No one is really hearing that thing that makes them feel sated, safe, whole. No matter where you turn, there is noise about something. Where's my stimulus? Student loans. Do I have this virus shit? Am I going to get this fucking virus shit? Immigrants. Give me money and vote for me. Did I mention my rally? COVID. Cancel rent. Black Lives Matter. Which they do, but that's a whole separate conversation, okay? The fuck is a CHOP anyway? Murder, suicide, riots, gun violence, white privilege. How can I help? Am I gonna get a goddamn pink slip? I wish I could work from home. I need a beer. Is it stupid to wear makeup when I just have to put on a mask anyways? Yet, even within all this noise, there are crickets. The howling wind, almost imperceptible to the untrained ear, but with cues everywhere. It's the blank look behind the eyes of those who've heard too much noise. The welling of tears of the person behind you 6 feet away in the store. Mass hanging from the dashboard in the cars around you. The rage behind the eyes of someone who has lost one too many people in too short a time. The panic in a parent's eyes because their child reaches for the big sticker on the floor. No one is saying anything. Yet their energy, their eyes, their auras are saying everything. And right now, I am feeling it all. It's debilitating. paralyzing, exhausting. And every empath in the world is likely going through the same shit I just described. Some days are better than others. The energy isn't quite as palpable. But then you get days like today when the air is heavy, it's thick, and smells like something I can't quite put my finger on. The low-flying crows tell me that they tell me a lot of things, but primarily that there is death in the air. It's not something that I like to talk about. Honestly, I think half the time I'm trying to convince myself that I'm not actually picking up what I'm picking up or seeing what I'm seeing, but death has a very distinct energy signature, and it's pretty damn hard to mistake for something else. It was heavy today, and the more I tried to ignore it, the more the crows made themselves known. I don't know how close to home this is gonna hit, but the signs don't lie. And something is about to happen. I'm in a space right now that I don't know how to describe. Maybe it's like being in a bubble while the bubble is still attached to the water. Small air pocket, but also still completely surrounded by the water. I'm that air pocket. And everything else in the collective is the water. There are a lot of messages, downloads, and visions that I am seeing that I simply don't feel comfortable sharing. I don't want to scare anyone. And the stuff I'm still picking up is far from pleasant. But beyond that, in the event that there is a fighting chance to bypass this energy, I don't want to speak it into existence. Hell, I don't want to think it into existence. So right now, I can't touch my cards for as much as I want to. I simply can't. I've got gratitude for each and every one of you. And I appreciate your patience and your kindness and sticking with me and hanging in there. Hanging in there with me while I pause. I have no plans or intentions at this time to exit the tube. But right now, I have to pause. So with that said, if you are someone who is also feeling this energy, you're not the only one. You are not the only one. And I want all of you to know too, especially for those of you who, even if you're surrounded by others, may still be in some version of isolation and loneliness, that you are loved. You are here for a reason. And tomorrow's a new day.